Driving at nighttime can be a challenge. Many drivers experience discomfort, reduced visibility, and even feel unsafe behind the wheel, with 85% of drivers reporting being bothered by glare from bright headlights. In fact, nearly 1 in 10 drivers report that glare while driving is so bad that they avoid driving at nighttime altogether. And that number almost doubles for people aged 65 and older. So what can we do about it? Well, these here are the new Zenni nighttime driving glasses with something that's called NeoContrast Technology, and are very different from other nighttime driving glasses designs that you may have seen. These are designed specifically to reduce glare, filtering out the light from headlights and street lamps to enhance contrast and clarity in low light conditions so that you have a more comfortable driving experience. But how exactly do these lenses do this? Like, what's the science behind the lenses, and what's the experience looking through them? I think these are always really good questions to ask, especially with any new technology in the eye care space. So, huge shout out to Zenni Optical for sponsoring this video showcase and giving me an opportunity to check out the science, try out the lenses, and answer some of these questions. Now, driving at night presents a range of challenges that can, of course, make it way more difficult and hazardous compared to just daytime driving. You, of course, have the reduced visibility is probably the biggest challenge, right? With lower lighting conditions, limiting your ability to see the road clearly, spot hazards, or even judge distances accurately. Then you have the oncoming headlights, especially from the more modern high-intensity or even misaligned headlights that can unfortunately cause a lot of glare and discomfort for drivers. Additionally, driving at night, you may end up having to navigate down a poorly lit street and even encounter animals or pedestrians that may be harder to see. All of these, of course, contributing to nighttime driving being a potentially very stressful experience. Now, perhaps you have already seen previous designs of nighttime driving glasses that usually have more of a darker yellow-looking color lens. But as you can see, these new nighttime driving lenses from Zenni are different. Not only are these lenses virtually clear with only a subtle hint of yellow, but they utilize something called NeoContrast Technology. This is a specialized lens treatment that selectively filters out a specific wavelength of light. Technically, it filters out yellow light at about 585 nanometers, which is a specific wavelength of light that the human eye often interprets as being brighter and happens to radiate from headlights and street lamps. And eliminating this type of glare helps improve contrast, essentially making it easier to detect subtle changes between light and dark objects, making things appear clearer and making it easier to see details on the road at nighttime and in dim light situations. And this has been pretty fun to test out, both outdoors at nighttime, but also indoors here in the office, looking at some of the lamps and lights that I have. For example, studying the light shining from this yellow overhead light I have, I was able to easily perceive that the lighting filaments are much clearer and come in better detail when viewing through the lenses with the NeoContrast. And honestly, this makes me pretty excited because contrast actually plays a much bigger role in human eyesight and visual performance, like a way bigger deal than I think most people realize. Because as contrast is improved, it is much easier to detect subtle details, and therefore you can improve not only your detection of letters and objects, but that can be translated to improved reaction time as well. Interestingly, even though these lenses are technically marketed as nighttime driving glasses, because they are virtually clear and they happen to have 100% UV light protection built into them, you can also wear them basically all day, even outdoors during the daytime. And I found out that the NeoContrast technology also enhances some colors a little bit. So color perception for some colors can seem a little bit more vivid. Now, one extra comment I will add in here, just from my experience testing these lenses out, is that if I look at a pinpoint light source in the far distance and look extreme gaze, like I turn my eye and look really far out, I can see a little bit of a blue shimmer that looks similar to the light source. And it turns out that that is because these lenses are designed with a special reflective property to reflect certain wavelengths of blue light, because LED lights emit a lot more of blue wavelengths of light. And so they specifically designed these to reflect lights of 445 nanometers, which is the blue wavelength zone, and below that. That's why if I get in close here, you can see a lot more of a blue reflection off the surface of these coatings. But that little shimmer that I do notice, I doubt most people will notice that. I think I'm just being hypercritical because I'm that type of eye nerd. In fact, one of my eye doctor friends also has gotten some pairs of these to test them out, and she didn't notice them at all, not until I pointed them out. So if anything, the technology is probably a good thing, just again help reduce the amount of blue light that could be penetrating through the lenses. Now, as far as what is available, if you want to check them out yourself, they do come in a variety of prescription options, including, of course, single vision lenses. They also have premium and standard progressive lenses, and they even come in a non-prescription option if you happen to just want something to try on to reduce glare while driving at nighttime and you don't require a glasses prescription. They have those too. In addition, the lenses also feature scratch and water-resistant coatings to help protect the lenses and prevent any reduction in optical quality. Now, stepping back for just a moment and really thinking about how the human eye works and the fact that we all have a little bit varying degree of visual function, our medical histories are different, each of us have different pupil sizes, right? If you have a much larger pupil, that means more light is going to enter into your eye, and you may even notice more glare than somebody with a much smaller pupil. And so knowing that, I think it makes sense that some people may experience more of a benefit or help reducing glare with these types of lenses than other people, especially if there's a medical condition like age-related cataracts, for example. Cataracts are known to cause more glare and reduced contrast. So I can imagine maybe older individuals or people with a medical condition like cataracts could potentially notice maybe a greater benefit from this type of technology. Otherwise, these new night driving glasses with the NeoContrast technology may be particularly beneficial for those who frequently drive in low light conditions or experience glare from lights. But overall, I did find it pretty fascinating just to dig into the science of these lenses, and I'm excited that we now have at least a new technology in this space because, yeah, glare is a big deal. Again, thanks to Zenni Optical for sponsoring this showcase, giving me an opportunity to test out these lenses and talk about the new tech. If you do want to check out any of the new affordable frames from Zenni, I will put a link in the description below. And let me know in the comments your experiences dealing with nighttime driving glare. Otherwise, if you haven't seen my video from last year talking about how headlights have changed on vehicles over the years and you want to hear some tips about that, check out the video coming right up over here. Thank you so much for watching. Keep an eye on it. We'll see you in that video.